You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello Night Nation, hello Orlando. This is Andrew Phegley, and this is Knightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barr Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. But you can also call us. We're taking your calls, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley, at AP_Knightline on Twitter. Big Ben Stout is out today doing some baseball stuff with his kid. All good because he covered for me last week. And I got Roger Phipps with me, though, at Night Bengal on Twitter from the Santa Rosa Beach studios. Roger, my man, what's going on?
Hey, enjoying a beautiful fall day up here in Northwest Florida. Started out the day at 69 degrees. It was amazing.
It's too cold for me. I'm glad I'm down here in Orlando. A little bit warmer. By the way, you can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. I forgot that part. I left that part out. So you can go there, find all our podcasts, listen to this show again, all that stuff. So I mentioned that Ben and Roger did the show for me last week, first one I've ever missed. I went to Louisville, though, hoping to see our Knights kick some Louisville butt, but it didn't quite happen that way. So what a week makes a huge difference. Now Dylan Gabriel is injured, out with a broken collarbone, indefinitely out. So our season has definitely taken a turn. Lots of other guys kind of injured. They're now 2-1 after the loss at Louisville. It's a bad way to take a loss. The last second or last couple of minute pick six is never the way to do it. And then a couple plays later, when we get the ball back, our quarterback falls down strangely and breaks his collarbone. It's kind of the way that sports goes, though, sometimes. So in a way, I'm just going to say this now. So Roger, we can talk about this. I'm a little bit excited about this, though. It's not a great thing. Obviously, we would like to be in a different situation with Dylan Gabriel being healthy and everybody else being healthy, but this throws, a big stick right in the middle of the bicycle tire, and it stops. But we have to start over. We have to do a different thing. We have to have a new quarterback, which is Mikey Keene, a freshman, a true freshman. It's going to be exciting. No matter what happens, it's going to be exciting. Roger, what do you think about that?
Well, one way or the other, it's going to happen. Whether you're excited about it or not, I agree with you. I'd rather have Dylan.
Yeah, but either way, it's going to be exciting, right? There's going to be moments of, oh my God, did you see what he just did? On the good side and the bad side.
Yeah, I mean, and the other part about this is, Mikey Keene is not really a question mark as to his performance up to this point. He's earned the number 2 slot. He played really, really well in high school. He's got great tape, but everybody has great tape when they're being recruited and they land here. But I think the difference is he did get a few snaps. And when I watched him, when he got a few snaps, he seemed okay. He's a running quarterback. He likes to, he can make something out of nothing. So that'll be exciting to watch to see what he does back there. His first game will be Navy, so that will be super interesting considering what offense they run and how many opportunities he has. So the one thing I would that I'm thinking about that may be a concern is that he'll have less snaps to make mistakes because Navy likes to limit the number of possessions. So,
well, that'll be up
the
to
only
our
thing.
defense to limit their number of possessions.
Right.
So our defense has been pretty good at stopping the run so far. A little bit less at Louisville, obviously, but still, a defense that limits the run should be able to do pretty well at Navy. We're a 14.5 point favorite at this point.
Right.
So that's a good way to go in for Mikey Keene to be favored in a game by that much at their place. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a lot. And I think that our defense and being able to stop the run is the reason that we're a 14.5 point favorite, personally.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
I mean,
well,
that's the only thing I can think of.
Well, I think it speaks to Navy and how terrible they've been all season. They've had some shakeups in the coaching staff. They haven't really found the quarterback. The Navy's offense runs better or runs its best when it has a solid quarterback because he's making all of the decisions back there, right? Where he's running, what holes he's hitting, is he going to be pitching, what's what.
Yeah, they're not doing that great. So, I think this is a perfect time for Mikey Keene to come in. If it had to happen, especially with the bye week that we're on right now, this is the perfect time for it to happen. Gus Malzahn talked to the media on Monday, this last week Monday, not tomorrow Monday, obviously, or I wouldn't have the sound. So last week on Monday, he talked to the media, and this was kind of his opening statement after the loss and all that. This was on the following Monday.
Obviously, very tough way to lose on the road at Louisville, and then you add the point that you lose your quarterback on the last play of the game. It was definitely tough. We came back yesterday, had very good meetings. We had a short practice. Our guys were in good spirits. The bottom line is now that, we're not going to have Dylan for a certain amount of time. Everybody's got to raise their level. And really, that was our message. We got really good leadership. I think our guys fully understand that. Now it's really good that we got an off week this week for a lot of different reasons. To get Mikey more reps, kind of build around him. Joey's been here for a little over a month, and we'll keep playing him in certain ways too. But overall, our guys understand what we have ahead of us. The conference schedule's coming up. Our guys are really excited about that, and so I'm looking forward to this off week.
All right. Well, the conference schedule starts this week. So he looked forward to the off week, which was ended on Saturday, basically yesterday, because now it's a regular game week. Next weekend, 3:30 p.m. on CBS Sports Network, UCF versus Navy at Navy. The thing with Mikey Keene, a freshman quarterback. He's thrown balls in college football, so he does have some stats that we can look at. He's thrown for 55 yards, the longest being 30 and 1 touchdown against Bethune-Cookman. 4 of 7 for 55 yards, 57.1% passing. That's all we know. That's really all we know, except that he did really well in high school. But Gus has a lot to say about him. Here, this is kind of a long clip, but I want you to hear it.
The thing about Mikey, he's really done a very good job, operating the offense in practice. He's got almost equal reps, early in fall camp, really early in the season. You want to give your twos a lot of reps, and we've done that, and that's really beneficial now. And then, like I said earlier, for us to have a practice last night, 3 more practices off week, give him a chance to just feel what it feels like. He's still a true freshman, and, but our team is rallying around him, and so that'll definitely help. Coach Kenny's got a really good idea of, what Mikey feels comfortable with. Going into these first 3 games, he's 1 play away from playing. And so, really communicating with him, narrowing things down to what he feels comfortable with. And that's what we're going to do moving forward. And the thing about it, he's a very intelligent young man. He can process things. He's very good with protections. He's very good with coverage recognition. So, I think we're in good hands. He earned the number 2 spot. It was a competition. And, we let our guys go live, obviously, in the spring and all that, and fall camp, and he earned that. And so he was 1 play away. And anytime you're 1 play away, you got to prepare like you're a starter. And he's done that the last 3 weeks. I know that's helped him. The fact he's a true freshman, I mean, there's going to be some learning things. There'll be probably a few growing pains, but everyone around him, we've got to, and coaches included, myself included, we've all got to raise our level to help him, and we're confident we can do that.
All righty. Well, Roger, what did you think of that? What Coach just said right there?
Well, I mean, they said they're going to build around him, right? And Coach has been, even through this season with Dylan, they've changed things up around him. He's changed his offense around the players that he has in place. And, I'm just grateful that Gus is a good enough offensive mind that he can do that and still be successful. So you've seen trick plays, you've seen all kinds of other plays. He's gotten snaps in the summer. So, I'm sure he has an idea of what his strengths are and will build around him. And that's going to be good for Mikey.
Right. Also have, there's other quarterbacks out there as well. Refresh of Joey Gatewood. I was trying to think of the name. We don't know a lot about him. He's been here for like a couple of months. And he has been in Gus's offense. They've used him as kind of a weird little, like a wild knight, we call it, which he's a quarterback. So really it's not a wildcat when he's in there taking a snap. He's the quarterback. So that could be interesting, the way they use him more as well, to bail Mikey Keene out a little bit. Sometimes maybe give him a rest, get him over to the sideline for at least a play just to see what's going on. Mikey Keene is not new to football, obviously. He's done very well in high school, obviously, with the stuff that we've talked about. 2 state championships. I don't think he ever lost. Wasn't that the deal? He never lost in high school or something like that?
Correct.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's 10-0.
He's got a heck of an arm as well. I think he's got every bit of the arm that Dylan does, believe it or not. I know that's crazy to say that, but I think he does. He's got that quick release just like Mackenzie did and Dylan has. So that's why he's here. He's here to play. It just happens to be that he's a true freshman. But, I think he's fully capable of doing it, and I can't wait to see it. That's the exciting part. When I say I'm excited about it, I'm excited to see a new twist. That's an exciting thing for a football fan, is to see a new twist when you absolutely need it. None of us ever expected Dylan to go down. He's been very healthy throughout his career here at UCF. Never been out more than a week, I don't think, if even that. So, this is a new thing, but you'll see what this team is made of this next week. This is the defining moment of our season. Last week could have been the defining moment, but I think the defining moment is going forward from here. Just the way that they handle this, the way Coach Gus handles it, the way the players handle it. There's a lot going on and a lot that needs to be done. So this is where you find out where the heart of your football team is and everything else. All right, we'll be back after this break on Knightline at Night.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chadbar Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chadbar Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law. Taking your calls, 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326. Speaking of taking your calls, we have a caller on the line. Andrew from Oviedo, my friend. What's going on?
Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Good to talk to you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been tough juggling football season and softball season. So it's good to finally kind of switch gears to football right now.
What's on your mind? There has to be a lot on your mind this week.
Oh, believe me, there's not enough time in the day that's what's on my mind. But the two things I'm really focused on is pretty much this week. It's very unfortunate that Dylan's gone down, but with the next man mentality, that's what we're going to do. But the question I have for you guys is, are you more concerned about our offense or our defense? And what I mean by that is offense, obviously, the unknown with Mikey Keene, obviously from high school, he is definitely proven. We'll see if he can do it in college. The other side of the coin is the defense. Granted, looking at the Louisville game, they seem to have our way with our defense, honestly. And I was kind of curious for our next few games. I'm not counting Navy right now just because of the situation they're in. But for the rest of the season, are you more concerned about our offense or our defense going forward?
Okay. All right. Interesting. Well, you always make it interesting, so it's fun. I don't know if I'm worried about our offense that much, because I think that you can plug in a guy like Mikey Keene and he's going to get the job done. It's just going to be the mistakes that he makes as a true freshman. Every true freshman quarterback makes mistakes. You mentioned next man up, and obviously Mikey Keene is the next man up. The thing with that is we weren't sure if Dylan Gabriel, honestly, have we seen the last of Dylan Gabriel? Will he come back ever at this point? Will he come back next year to play? Does he go to the NFL? I think that he can get a season back probably. Hasn't played more than 4 games. Should be able to medical redshirt if he doesn't get back. So that could be interesting. I don't know if Louisville had their way with our defense a little bit. They had 191 yards rushing. They had 310 yards passing. Yes, they kind of had their way, but we were in this game the entire time. It wasn't like that they took control and kept control the entire time. We were in this game. Really all we had to do was go down there and kick a field goal and we would have won the game. So yes, we gave up more yards. This was a much higher quality opponent than we had played in the past, though. The rest of the season, maybe Boise was a pretty good team as well, but I think Louisville is a little bit better than Boise. So I'm not that worried about our defense. I think our defense is probably the strongest thing we have right now with a freshman quarterback. So that's my take on that. Roger, very quickly, because this segment's going to end.
Okay, so offense versus defense. Right now, I'm still more worried about the defense. The line is going to be shored up. We'll get Matt Lee back. The biggest holes that I see is in that defensive effort. The defensive line has been getting pressures, but has not always been disrupting the quarterback. If we can get that moving, then we should be okay, especially against a team like Navy.
Okay. Well, that was quick.
Well, you wanted it to be quick.
No, that was quick. That's good. You mentioned Matt Lee. He's on the offense, by the way. You mentioned the defensive line, but then you said Matt Lee. Matt Lee is our center. Line. Yeah. So you're worried about the offensive line more.
No, I meant that I'm not worried about the offense because we're getting Matt Lee back, and the lines are the most important part of that offense to protect Mikey Keene. I'm more worried about the defense.
Okay, I see. All right. Well, we'll talk more about that when we come back. Thank you, Andrew from Oviedo. Appreciate it. If you want to hang through, we can talk more. We'll be right back on Knightline at Night. If you haven't figured it out yet, I love Tijuana Flats. I would love them even if they weren't a partner with us on the Knightline Sports Network. They have all kinds of great Tex-Mex food, and it's fresh, by the way. Made to order burritos, tacos, enchiladas, chimichangas, quesadillas, bowls, nachos, and taco salads. And if you haven't tried the queso, you are completely missing out. It is the best queso that I've ever had in my life. Absolutely hands down. And the sauce bar that they have, everything from wild to mild in there. Absolutely awesome, awesome stuff. Not only do I love the food at Tijuana Flats, but I love the company, a UCF-born company, and they give back to the community with the Justin Queso Foundation. So head to your local Tijuana Flats, Tex-Mex for everyone. Hey Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Nightline at Night with you. I'm Andrew Phegley, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law, assisting injured veterans get the help they deserve. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036, or visit protectingvets.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. But we're taking your calls as well. 844-580-9326, 844-580-9326 if you want to talk to us. Or you can use the open mic feature in the WDBO app. Once again, I'm Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Big Ben Stout is out for the weekend with his son playing baseball. Roger Phipps is with me, though, at Night Bengal on Twitter from the Santa Rosa Beach studios. And you can find all the rest of our content on nightlinesports.com. You can go there for all of our podcasts, as well as a couple other people's podcasts, which is really cool. Good stuff on there. Anyway, we're talking UCF, obviously. Talking still a little bit about the loss, 42-35 last week. On Friday night, off week for UCF this week, which is really good because Dylan Gabriel went down in that game with a broken collarbone. Not going to have him back probably maybe the end of the season. We'll see about that. Speaking of that, I just want to play this clip that Gus Malzahn talking about that. It's pretty short.
Well, we're hopeful. I mean, he's a great competitor. It's tough right now on him. It's tough on our team. You're talking about, in my opinion, not one of the best quarterbacks, but one of the best players in college football, and you lose him. But, he's a leader. He'll be there for our team, and, we're hopeful.
All right. Well, you will definitely see him on the sidelines. I'm sure that, he went through this situation with Mackenzie Milton last year. Mackenzie was there for him for the last couple of years, really, on the sideline for him to go talk to. Now he's going to be that guy for Mikey Keene. And, with a guy that's done that before, has been the guy to come in as a true freshman, that's a good guy for Mikey Keene to go onto the sideline and talk to. And he's got somebody watching that has a wonderful football IQ, as Dylan Gabriel does. Roger?
Yeah, I mean, the IQ thing is extremely important when you're pushing a new freshman out in his first game, right? Gus has said, and everybody who's been around the program has really said that he's got a really high football IQ. His former high school coach mentioned that as well. He's been watching a lot of film. And so if you have a freshman, they always talk about the speed of the game and how it's completely different in high school. You want someone that has a high football IQ and has the ability to make all the checks and things like Gus said, in order to not get rattled when they're out there, right? Because if he's out there and he's able to make things happen and he's got a high football IQ, he's reading defenses, he's doing all the things, he's making shifts, he's making calls, he knows what route to hit depending on what the defense pulls. So, if you've got someone with a high football IQ, it's not going to take them as fast to catch up. And from all accounts, this is what he has, and that makes it should make him a little bit more quick in getting up to speed, especially we have 2 games that are winnable against Navy and ECU. So that'll give him some seat time in the backfield before we go into the bigger games.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's going to help him tremendously with him having a high IQ, but also going onto the sideline and talking to Dylan Gabriel with his high football IQ as well. And then, going over and being able to talk to Gus. Gus is a guy that has an incredible football IQ. If you're talking about football IQs, Gus Malzahn has one of the best of them. But people were last week after the game, I saw some people on social media and stuff criticizing the way that Gus Malzahn handled especially the timeout situation in the second half at Louisville. What did you think about that, Roger?
Say that last part again. I missed it.
The way that Gus handled especially the timeouts in the last game against Louisville in the second half.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I had some question marks on the timeout on the second game that we played, or the Boise State game that we played. So with this one, I think he handled them much better. I mean, at the end of the day, we were in a position to win. It would have been interesting to see, if that pick six hadn't happened. I mean, I think Gus would have been just fine. We would have kicked the field goal, and we aren't even having this conversation. But to me, the first game was a little questionable. This one's a little better.
Okay. Well, yeah, some fans were upset that he didn't use the timeouts that he had in the second half there. I think he went to the end of the game with 3 timeouts left.
So Louisville, the thing about it was during the game, Louisville was marching up and down the field. The defense was tired and getting beaten up because it was mostly the run game. So I think personally he's trying to run clock, and he was in a position after the interception to be able to do that, right? And still kick the field goal for the win.
Before the interception, yeah. Yeah, right. I mean, if that pick six didn't happen, I think we win the game, obviously. I really think that we would have either scored a touchdown or kicked the field goal. We were never out of that game by any means. So, yes, their quarterback had a great day, but it didn't show up in touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Dylan Gabriel had 3 compared to his 1. They both threw an interception. So he had a lot of yards, obviously. Malik, I think is his name, but definitely didn't play any better than Dylan did in that game.
No, and even and the reason we lost the game, quite frankly, folks, is because the throw was a little bit behind because he was rushed because Louisville's defensive line got through. And then Amari Johnson, since it was behind him, he was trying to catch the ball with his shoulder pad in his hands, and it just popped off the shoulder pad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's football.
Yeah.
And the other guy just happened, they had three players that were just sitting there right in the vicinity of where the football popped. And I mean, it literally just went into the guy's hand. So there's not much you can do. I mean, it was a hard fought game. It's the football gods, guys.
It is, absolutely. And the football gods were good to us the last time we were there at Louisville. So I don't know if we had this one coming. I think the Louisville players were really excited because they thought that we had this one coming. Even though none of them were there the last time, they knew that UCF came in there the last time and beat them good. So, there was a lot going on there as far as that goes. They were excited. They played a great game. They played a good game yesterday as well against Florida State. So Louisville is not a crappy team by any means. There's no reason why we should feel bad about losing that game. It happens. It's football. It happens a lot. Every other week sometimes.
Well, I think what people are reacting to is the fact that we have a loss, and our goals are always to get to the New Year's Six while we're in the conference, right? And
you can still do that with one loss. You can still win the conference with one loss. We've still got our biggest game ahead of us.
I agree.
Cincinnati is going to be the one. That's going to be a huge game, huge. And Mikey Keene has a couple of games before that to get ready. So you never know. You just never know. And this is why I said in the beginning of the show, and I'm sure a lot of people were like, why is he excited? I'm excited because we get to see the future of our football program at quarterback, possibly the future, start playing next week, and seeing what happens with that. That's exciting. Like I said, we don't know if Dylan Gabriel is going to come back this year. Maybe he's going to come back next year for an extra season because of a medical redshirt. We don't know any of this stuff. We thought this would probably be the majority of us, I think, thought that this would probably be his last season, that he would go on to the NFL in some way or another.
Right.
And Mikey Keene was the next guy up at that point. I mean, unless another true freshman comes in or a transfer or something comes in and takes over, Mikey Keene was going to be that guy. We just get to see it a little bit earlier than we thought we were going to get to see it. But I'm excited about that. I'm not excited at all that Dylan Gabriel is hurt and can't play. Don't get me wrong. I know somebody's going to take that the wrong way. It's not that. I would obviously rather have Dylan Gabriel. I'd be dumb not to. But I'm excited to see where we can go from here, how our team responds, how Gus responds, how the rest of the coaching staff responds to make this thing happen.
Right.
The rest of the season. We've got a lot of football left. We've got more football left than we've played. You know what I'm saying? We're not even close to half.
Right.
So it's still going to be a really exciting football season. It just happens to be it's going to go down a little bit differently than we thought it was going to. But it's still going to be exciting. We're 3 games into this thing. This will be our 4th game. We've got plenty of football left. And the beef of our schedule is left. Louisville out of conference, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter. The rest of these teams, it matters, except UConn, because they're not in our conference. That's the one game that we have left that's not a conference team. A lot of people are confused. They used to be, but they're not anymore. They're independent.
Correct.
Now.
They're out of conference.
So, really, if we're thinking about it, with the time frame of this whole Big 12 thing, Mikey Keene was probably going to be the guy that was going to be leading us into playing in the Big 12 as quarterback.
Right.
Well, now we get to see him. We get to see him, and he gets to get started a little earlier. Even if Dylan does come back next year, or even at the end of the season, Mikey Keene's going to have valuable time behind center and on the football field, no matter what happens. And it's just kind of the way you got to look at it. And you find the bright spots and be excited about it. That's the way I do it. There was things to get excited about in an 0-15 season or 0-13 season back in, or 0-12 back in, I'm confused. but 0-12 back in the day, there were still things that were valuable for those players. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying at all that we're going to be 0-12.
Well, those 0-12 players went.
A bunch of them are in the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can lose a game, lose your quarterback, and still have a lot of things, valuable time on the field, valuable games, lots of wins, I'm sure still. He can get those freshman mistakes out early, and we've still got a lot of football to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, at the end of the day, to your point, This is the future. As of right now, he is the future of UCF football. Now, granted, we're going to be recruiting quarterbacks every year, but eventually Dylan won't be here. So,
yeah. I'm sorry. That segment went really, really fast. All right, we'll be right back on Knightline at Night.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
Welcome. This is a promo for the Take a Left at Albuquerque podcast, new to the Knightline Sports Network. You should listen to it. I say things like this. We need to stop blaming Jerry because we would do the exact same thing if we owned the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Do you know how much fun it is to own the Dallas Cowboys? My guests will say things sometimes like this.
It's the Lord of the Flies thing that happens when they don't understand that things are wrong, spoiler alert, until Piggy dies.
Lord of the Flies has been out for like 100 years. I don't even know.
Sorry to everyone at home who I spoiled the book for. A book's been out for like 90 years or something.
And sometimes, rarely though, I'll say really stupid things like this. If they don't make it out of the West and the Raptors get to the finals, I will go on either this show or whoever's show and say that Kawhi Leonard is overrated because I have too much evidence of it. New episodes drop every Friday with me and some of my good friends right here on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at night, live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Barlaw. We're talking UCF sports. I'm Andrew Phegley, AP_Knightline on Twitter. Got Roger Phipps at Night Bengal from the Santa Rosa Beach studios. You can find all the rest of our content on NightlineSports.com. Don't have much time left here, so we need to get to our Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Welcome to the Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week. Visit TijuanaFlats.com for takeout or delivery, or visit your local Tijuana Flats. Tex-Mex for everyone. All right, our Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week is where we do our score predictions for the next game. We're going to do that for the Navy game next Saturday, 3:30 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. Roger, I'm going to let you go first.
All right. So for my Tijuana Flats Hot Take of the Week, I'm going to say the UCF Knights defeat Navy 32-14 at home. 32-14. Okay. I'm going to go. I still think that we're going to go a little higher than that. I'm going to say 42-21. I think we're going to score more points. 42-21 is going to be mine. Ben has his as well that he sent to me by text message. 42-13 is what he picked. Isn't that what? Yeah. So I don't know how he got 13. I mean, are we kicking a bunch of? Are they kicking a bunch of field goals?
I don't know. Maybe 42-13. Okay. Another thing that we need to get taken care of here. I forgot to play it earlier. We need to hear from our good friend Jeff Allen that does the AAC report on the Knightline Sports Network, talking about the rest of the stuff that happened in the AAC this week.
Time now to take a look at the scoreboard around the American. SMU retains the Iron Skillet with a 42-34 victory over TCU in Fort Worth. Temple blasted Wagner 41-7. Memphis blows a 21-0 lead and falls to UT San Antonio 31-28. Tulsa outlasts Arkansas State 41-34. East Carolina captures the win 31-28 over Charleston Southern. Houston rallied to beat Navy in the only conference game 28-20. Tulane lost in their true home opener 28-21 to UAB. And South Florida got down big early and rallied late, but they lose to BYU 35-27. I'm Jeff Allen. We'll recap those games and get you set for this weekend's contest, including our Spotlight Game of the Week, Cincinnati at Notre Dame. That's all coming up on this week's AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
All right, the AAC Report, you can find that on NightlineSports.com with all the rest of our stuff. Roger, final thoughts here really quickly about what you think is going to happen in this Navy game, and how you think Mikey Keene is going to come out in all this.
I think for the Navy game, I think Mikey Keene will be fine. Navy doesn't have a lot of great defensive talent that I've seen. So for me, I think he's fine. They're going to limit him running, and they're going to make him win passing, which he's got a good touch on the ball, and he can make things move. So I think, Gus will have him prepared. He had that extra bye week, and he'll be ready to go.
Absolutely. All right. 0-3, the Navy midshipmen are. So this is a big one for them. I'm sure that they want to play well at home in front of their fans and in front of the rest of the Navy midshipmen there. So it's going to be a big one. I think that we're going to do all right, though. So, all righty. That's going to be it for us. Thank you for listening. Go Knights. Charge on.
Charge on.